So I have two projects, the same thing, because I don't want to blow myself up. And let's go to the, so we have a project, the project name is Capstone. So now you see I have a lot of projects here. Again, if I want to have only some of them, I go here, select. And then here, I can select whatever project I want. So I will remove this. And because I just wanted a bit, so new Java. Then here I need com project. So I'll give it the name to remember, this is a temporary name. Capstone project, so add. And then I need this project. This image, I need this for now. Okay. And we can, okay, so this is the one we have for now. Let's go. This project we created, this is a Maven project. How do we know it's a Maven project? It has a pom.xml file. So in the pom.xml file, we added whatever we needed. And then they're all here, they are dependencies. Once we add any dependency and save it, our local, so this is the pom.xml we have here. And then this is a central repository or dependency in the Maven. So whatever we have here, 2, 3, this is Cucumber Java, this is JUnit, whatever. Once we add them here, it checks if we have it in our local system available. If not, it will be going and start downloading from the Maven repository. We don't realize. Once we save it, then how do we know it's downloaded? Then we click here, so they're all downloaded. So the Java compiler, if you say they're all the things we have here, dependencies. So, and they are not saved, they're only downloaded from Maven repository. Okay, now let's go what we did. So the feature, the project here is, it has 3 parts. So the plan is just to learn, not just to go with. So this is the feature file, the first feature file desktop that we worked on it. We did part of it, so I'm gonna finish it tonight. Okay, so I'm gonna close everything if you guys don't get confused.
Perfect. John, where's the WebDriver in this package or in this project?
Yeah, good question. So we do not use WebDriver, as I told you guys. Instead of that, we use WebDriver Manager. And this is the WebDriver Manager. And let's just show you. I showed you the other day, I think, and we talked about it a bit. And let me just show you. This is the WebDriver Manager. So once we download this, it will go and download all the drivers for us once we have this. Okay. And then we don't need to go and download anything. That's the benefit of pom.xml file. Whatever we download here, so we just only put the dependency here. If I go here, let's go Google Maven repository. Okay, this is, we get it from this location. Okay, then I copy WebDriver. So WebDriver Manager. So this is the WebDriver Manager. Once we click on it, it gives us with the WebDriver Manager. We get it from IO. And then here, we get the latest version. So whatever version we need, usually we go with the latest version. And here we only copy the dependency. Once I copy this dependency, it means I never need to download any Chrome driver, any Firefox driver, IE driver. This is going to work for all of them. That's the benefit of Maven. And now we have it here. So the version is 3.6.2. If the version is, this is 4.3.1. So the only thing I need to do is, if I want to change the version, I can copy the version and just copy it here, paste it here. This is the version. So I updated my pom.xml file. This is how to do it. We never touch this because it's the same thing. Only the version changes because they release new versions. And then the only thing we want is the version. And let me also show you another Maven project that is, okay, let me deselect everything. So this is deselecting. Here, I have another project that I showed you guys how it works. This is a Maven project, okay? It has pom.xml. So I have drivers here, Chrome driver, whatever driver, okay? If I go to this file, and then, okay, before going to this file, let's see, I'm going to test. I have a package here, a class. This is the, I did some coding here. The website is the same website, Ticket School, but only if you see this Chrome driver is commented. See, this Chrome driver is commented. I don't need it. So what I'm gonna do, and this is Chrome driver, I don't need it. I only use WebDriver Manager. How do I use WebDriver Manager? Instead of going and downloading everything here, so before using the WebDriver Manager, I downloaded, I created a folder, I copied the Chrome and all of these. And later on, I went to the pom.xml file. Okay, in pom.xml file, I went to this website. I got, I searched for the WebDriver Manager. I got this dependency, so I can do it again. I copy this dependency. Then I went here. Then so see, I have the WebDriver Manager. It's 3.6.2. The WebDriver Manager I have here is 4.3.1. Then I copied the WebDriver Manager here. The same thing. Now I copied it again. Once I copied this here, see, I have Selenium. If I don't have Selenium, I'm not able to do any coding in this project. So see, I'm not going to be able to do any coding. Like I'll never be able to do any of this coding because I don't have Selenium. So in this project, I only have Selenium, okay, and WebDriver Manager. JUnit is something that it comes with the WebDriver Manager itself. So now I have two WebDriver Managers here. This is the first one. Never think about this. As I told you last session, only this one. I have this, and I have another WebDriver Manager. I can delete this. I don't need it because I already have one. Okay, I have Selenium. JUnit comes with the pom.xml file, and I have WebDriver Manager. By using this WebDriver Manager here in my project, this is my project. See, the project name is this one. This is my project. Inside the project, I have, this is a Maven project. I have drivers here, but I don't want to use any of these drivers because I already added a pom.xml WebDriver Manager to the pom.xml. This is the WebDriver. And close. Now I can use the WebDriver Manager easily. See, this is WebDriver Manager with Chrome. This is WebDriver Manager with Firefox. This is WebDriver Manager. It means by adding that WebDriver, only by adding this WebDriver Manager jar file, dependency file, it's here. This is in the project. We can use all of the drivers. This is Chrome. This is Firefox. This is IE or whatever. These are all my drivers. Instead of going and putting the drivers here, so there is no need to do that. Now, in our project, this is the Capstone project. If I open the pom.xml file, and here also we have the WebDriver Manager. So by using this WebDriver Manager, we have access to Chrome, Firefox, everything. So there is no need to go and start downloading. This is really, it has a good benefit. Okay, and so let's go here and just do what we need to do. And okay, in the main class, in the main folder, we have base class. So if you go to a job, you may not have this base class. You can have another name. Remember. If I open this base class, remember things, okay? We only in the base class, what do we do? In the base class, we do so I can show you, but I hope you guys don't get confused. So this is the base class. Let me show you what we're doing. So first of all, we create an object for WebDriver and an object for properties file and logger, because we want to use them everywhere and they are static. The reason we create them here, because we want to use everywhere in the class without creating object. Remember this. And after that, we create private string property file path. What is the property file path? And let me show you something. If I come here, I create a file, okay? I create a file here. In this file, I do my hard coding. Whatever hard coding I have, I put them here. This is important. What is this file called? This is called property file. Properties. Inside this, I use my URL hard-coded. I use my browser. And also I use my wait time. And we can use a lot of things, but I want just not to go more. And after that, this is my properties file. Let's go and show you what is this. Here, this is the same thing. So I open the source folder. This is my property file. I put it inside a folder called input data, whatever name, but normally we put this up. Here, we have two things, log and project property. But the thing is, they should end with properties. What do they do here? What do they do? So this is my hard coding. I put the hard coded value, okay? And I can get this value through a base class. This is base class. Just look at this. It's very important. And here, this is my step definition class. Let's see how it works. In the step definition class, I want to get access to the browser or whatever. The browser is here. By extending this class, okay, first of all, in my base class, I get the path for these two. So I get the information and put them inside the base class. And through the base class, I can access those information in my project. Let's go to the base class here. This is a properties, okay? Now this is the base class. Let's see how it works. Inside the base class, okay, now if I go here and right click on this, and after I right click on this, I'll get the copy. And then I'll come and paste this here. Okay. And also I'll go and this is the input data. Okay. So now here I want to get this hard-coded URL and whatever here, and I want to create a path because I want to access these through a base class. And after that, I can extend base class and get the information and pass it to a step definition and also my initializer. So how can I do it? Here, we created a string project property file path. In this file path, we give the information where this file is located in my project. Let's see how we do. I want to start from the top from my project. When I want to start from my project, because I want to find this, okay? First of all, if I want to find it through my project, I put a dot here. And after that, I put this name of this, it means when I put a dot here, I tell Java, okay, start from this project, at the project level, okay? And then I put dot source test resources. I gave this address, source test resources. Inside this, there is a folder called input data. This is this data. Inside this, there is a file called project.properties. Project.properties. Okay, I gave it. This is the, so what I'm giving the information, I'm giving the file path, What is the file path? The file path is for this. Okay, what is inside this? Inside this is a URL. So I'm giving the address of this URL. What is the purpose of doing that? I can put them all in my base class because we want to have all the hard coding value outside them in another separate class. This is not a Java class. How do you know? Because there is no, so here in the Java class, I need to put them in a double quotation. Okay, but here there is no rule for Java class. In Java class, you may need to, so it is not following any Java syntax, not at all. See, we are not putting any single quotation or whatever. This is only a regular class. We are giving the address of this regular class to this file. How we do it? When I create a project.properties, here I create a public string property project property file path. I give the path of this class to this here. So this is the path of this class for this file. And also I create a object of logger, log4j file path. These two are file path, remember. These are file path. And then I give the information for the log. Again, these two, the same here. Input data, input data. But after that, inside the input data for the project that has the URL and everything is here. But here I give the address of log4j. This is the address of log4j. So what is happening? I can access what's happening now? I can access the URL, my browser, my web rate or whatever, or hard-coded value through the base class. How can I do it? By creating file path. This is file path. And then I give the address. This is the address. Whatever address they have, I get it. So now I have everything in my base class, but it's not hard coded. The hard coding is somewhere else in another file, which is not the Java syntax file. Okay. After I did it, so even after if I want to right click on object on log4j, this is the path I have. So if I copy the path here, you would see the same thing. If I copy the path here, it says, let me just also show you this. It starts from C user what then comes to the project. This is my project, Tom. Can you guys tell me what there is something here that represents this project? What is that here? Can you guys tell me? There is something here that represents the entire project, that I do not need to put this project information, all this project name here. Did you guys realize this? I just explained. So only this dot represents my project, any project. So it means that it starts from the project. What is the project? The project is this. So I do not need to put all this information about the project. Stop. Then I delete it. Okay. And after that, I start from this represents the project, and this represents the folder that this file is inside that. What is the folder that is this file is inside that? The main folder. I'm talking about the main folder, the source folder. So SR test source folder. Then I separated what there is a folder inside that. Inside that folder, that file is inside that file. This is block. So this is what we need to do, and that's the purpose of this object dot properties. And even if the spelling is incorrect after this dot, you cannot access. Now we have everything here, and you see no URL. Okay, now here, so I create the logger object because I want to use logger. I create properties object. I create the WebDriver object, and I already got the information of these two files. That in these two files, I have my log information. What is log information, guys? Log information, this is just extra information about any code that you put. Once your code fails, then you can come in that location and see, okay, what is going on. So the user clicks on this and then the code fails. So you see, okay, here is the fault. User wanted to click on this link. So you can, by giving the information through the logger that you type yourself, you can find the syntax error easily. Okay, now this is what we did. Inside through this, we have two kind of things. One is buffer reader. The other one is a file reader. So I can go through that. By using this, we are gonna read the file. Okay. Buffer reader, this is the reader, the object I created. So I put the object here. Reader equal new buffer reader. Okay, inside this, where did I store this information? And now it asked me, I gave the information, all of this information inside this file. So now this file reader asked me, where is your file stored that I can go and access it? I gave, okay, my file is inside this path that I created, that I gave it to the Java is stored inside this. So then I created the object of the buffer reader. Inside this, I need to paste this path. So by pasting this, then this file reader or buffer reader can find this, because I already got the information and I saved it inside this variable. And this variable, now I will provide it here. Where's the information? The information is here. So I mean this properties. So now this is the properties, okay? The object, remember, I use these properties and create a new object. And then again, I read property dot load reader, load this. Load what? Load this reader. What is inside this reader? Inside this reader, there is this variable. What is inside this variable? My location. Again, this is my properties that I create. Through the properties, first of all, I put this information, this address inside the file reader. This is easy, okay? After that, by using this object, then I create an object of property file. After that, I use the same object after creating that, okay? And I said dot load what? Load the file location for me. So then I put the reader. So first I created the reader. After I created the reader, I gave the location of this properties file to the reader, because learn Java like this. Everything is inside this reader now. What is everything? The location of this file path, because this is the file path. I saved the source here, the source for this, or the location, and then I'm giving this to this reader. What is this reader? This is a buffer reader object. Now this reader has this and has the information or the location of this. And after that, I said, okay, since the reader has the location, now I want to load the reader. Property that load the reader. Okay, whenever you call this constructor, the reader file will be loaded. What is inside this reader file? The properties. What is it going to load? It's going to load this. What is inside this? The location. So this location will be uh, uh, popped up easily, and then we close it. So we put it inside the catch flag in case if it cannot find or whatever, it doesn't throw the exception. Again, we create an object, a static object here. Now we are going to use this object. Remember, this is not object. This is the object. This is the class name. I'm using this. Okay, what I'm going to do inside this logger object, I'm going to say logger.getLogger. What is the logger? Logger file. Okay, get the logger file. And after that, so I'll get the logger inside this logger. So now this one has the logger information. And the next step that you need to do is property configurer.configure log4j path. So you are going to, where's the log4j? So log4j is inside this. How do I know that inside this? Like I save the log4j, the path of the log4j inside this. So now I'm saying, okay, go config, get this information. After you get this information, everything will be saved inside this. Whenever you come here and say, okay, logger.info will get the information from this part. So this is 2 lines of code for logger. So you save everything in the logger, and then you give the path of the location of the logger you have here. You paste it here. So if you go through this 2 times or 3 times, you will learn it. Never mind about this. You can delete it. If I were you, I would delete this just to understand. Okay, and then this is a simple code. See, very easy. So now the purpose of these two file is to load my properties and logger file that I gave the information. This is the purpose of these two. And the purpose of this, the third one, is to get the information from the logger. And now I gave the address of the logger. Okay, we come here. Let's see what is happening. Okay, in the base class, now I have the address in the base class. By extending this, I can use a step definition inside the base class. Then I'm going to create methods. Remember, inside the base class. So the first method is about, okay, give me the browser. This is very easy. Okay, let me just, this is very easy. Remember this. Public class, public static, this is my browser name. What I'm doing inside this, okay, I'm gonna delete these two. And let me just copy this. I'm gonna, so learn, if you want to learn coding, learn it this way. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this, put it here. Okay, and I'm gonna add a S because these methods are the same name. Okay, let's see what I'm doing. Okay, let's just write it myself so you guys understand. Okay, this is a code. This is a method for my browser. Let's see how can I get the location of the browser. Okay, this is my browser. After I created the method, okay, it is asking me for the return type now. See, add a return type. What I'm gonna do, see this property. This property now, I'm inside this base class. I want to create method. So through that method, I want to access this URL. I want to access this browser inside this path because I already have the info. So I already provided the file information through the file path. I have the address. Now through the method, I want to get the location. I want to access this browser. I want to access this URL. How can I do it? This file is very, very important, guys. Properties. Properties, it means it is going to get all the information from this class. Let's see how it works, okay? After I did that, here, I'm gonna copy this property dot, here, get, remember, get property. So what is the property here? I said property. So I want to get the property of what? What do I want to get? There is a browser. I want to get the property of the browser. Here, this is a property file. I want to get so here it has key and value. So I want to get the value of this browser or the key of this browser. So here I'll give, okay, I want to access this browser. How can I access to this? This is the value, this is the key. You need to get the key and put the key inside this file, the property. So now I'll put the same thing. I'll copy the browser and put the browser here. Okay. After I did that, this is done. Okay. This is done. Nothing is wrong, but only you need to do is a return type. Learn it this way. Okay. After, because this needs, now it's done. Since it needs a return type, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a string browser name, because I want to give it return type. Okay. A string browser. And then here, by using this, I'm saying, okay, return browser. Whenever this method is called, return the browser. It's done. So you don't need to never mind, whenever you want to learn Java, never mind about this part. So just mind about this. This is a variable that is only stored in it. This is a variable. Okay, now let's see what is going to happen. So just again, never mind about this part, never mind about this part. It's now correct. If I change this string to void, okay, if I change this to void, now it works. The error is only for a return type. Okay, so now what I'm having, property that gets property, it is going to get the property of this browser. What is inside this browser? Inside this browser is the name, is the value. What is that value? Chrome. Okay, good. Now anytime this method is called, it's going to run this browser for you. If you come and change this to Firefox, Firefox will be loaded if you change this, because the browser is here. If you add S here, then you would need to add one S here. So learn this. property.getProperty gives you the value of any key you have inside the property file. These are all value, 1 value, 2 value, 3 value, 4 value. So you provide the key inside your get property file, and then whenever you call this method, this browser will be popped up, because this browser, it is going to you've got the key here. What is inside this browser as a value? There is a name, so that will be popped up. Okay, let me just okay, this is a browser, so I'm going to delete this. So we have one method for getting the browser. Okay, remember, get property, very important. So we only we create this object to get the properties from the properties class, because we provide the keys through the to the property, and that whatever value we have inside that key, we can have access. Okay, now this is the uh, get browser. Okay, so I can get the browser through this. So let's go to the next part. Now there is another method called URL. Okay, we already have the browser. Why do you need another method for the URL? Because we have a URL key here, that this URL has a value inside the property class. Okay, so there's another method, URL, because I want to get the property of this URL. This is important. And now again, string a URL. Never mind about this part. Never mind about this property. That this property. What do you want to get? I want to get this key. So what is inside this URL? Inside this URL, there is a location. Whenever this method is called, this property will hit this key, and this key has information. So whatever information here, it means this URL will be open. And now if you go for everything, and also we have here, let me, we have another method, wait. So you can have another thing. So what I can have another thing like this, imagine this, email this. So whatever information you have here, you can come here and create methods for this. Okay, never become worried about it. So now again, this is long get wait by properties.getProperty. This is important. Whatever name you have here, this is my name. I copied the name here. Inside this name, this is a value. This is the key. I want to get the value of that key, 30. Whenever I want, if I call this, it means I'm gonna give it a 30 seconds time, or whatever time it is. And then here, the reason it has long, because the driver, if you click on it, it only has it only works with long. The type is long. So instead of saying return URL, I say return long, parse long. So whatever string you have here, you put it here. I can also go through that next time. So this is for this, and this is also load. This is for this. Again, get property, give me the, you call the key because you want to get the value. Again, return, just get it, you save it to the long variable, and since you want to save it in a get the return type in long, so you need to change it to long as well. And let's see what is the last one. What is the last one? Public static void initial driver. This is only a method, never mind about this. Okay, inside this, what I'm gonna do, we create driver.get. Now we use Selenium. Driver.get URL. Give me the URL. So what is the URL, guys? This is the URL. I created a method. This method, whenever this method is called, it will return this URL. What is inside this URL? Inside this URL is the location, is this URL. Okay, now I get this method. See, I copy it, for example, just you guys see, and then I create a method called initializer, and I paste the URL method. Okay, what I see, driver.get, instead of putting, let me just, instead of putting the hard coding value here inside get, see, this is the hard coding value, and this is the hard coding value. Instead of putting the hard coding value, I put I will put a method that I created here, URL, and I put the key because the key is inside this URL. Whenever this method is called, it will return the URL. So then whenever this method is called, it will return the URL. What does the URL have? Again, the URL has this value. So we need this value to go to that web page, okay? Now we create another method, and then we create another method. Inside this method, we go and paste that URL. So whenever this URL is called, this URL and this web page, this will be popped up because this URL has the information of the URL, the value. Okay, so get URL. And this is not important, this is tear down. Now, I want to show you something that how we can pop this. I want to go to desktop. Let me see, show you how I used it. This is desktop. I'm gonna desktop page object, no page object. I want the step definition. This is the desktop, okay? Step definition. Okay. Okay, let me just give it from here. So this is the first code. Let me copy it that you guys understand. I'll copy it and put it here. So this is the first code that we use. User is on the retail web page. Okay, what I do, I say base initializer. It means inside the base class, there is a method called initializer. Whenever I call this method, okay, let's see. Whenever I call this method, this URL will be hit because it's I put driver.get. This URL will be hit. If what is inside this URL? Let me click on it. Inside this URL, there is a key. Okay, what is the value? So you cannot copy this and go here and paste URL. See, you can never do it. Can you just copy this and go and paste this? This is a URL. It's not gonna work. It means this is a key. It has a value. Okay, there is a value here. Okay, where is the value? The value is inside another class. How can I get the address? The address is already provided here inside, and then whenever this constructor is called, this address will be loaded. The address is inside this reader file, and this will be loaded. So that's why we provide the information here. Okay, now when I say base class, base initializer, I only call initializer class. What does this initializer class do? Go inside. This initializer class, whenever I call it, it will run this get URL will be run. What is inside this get URL? This is another method. Okay. Inside this, I got the property. The main property is here. This is the address of the URL is inside this. So that's why you get the it's like 2 steps that you usually get it. Okay, because now it's a URL. Okay, we cannot just copy this and return it. You have to put this in another method. That's why we did it here. So get dot driver dot get URL. So it's not hard coded. Whenever whatever URL we have here will be popped up. I just wanted to go through this that you guys understand. I hope it was a bit helpful. Okay, now let's go and start. Let me delete this. And no saving. Okay, and you guys I think understood the reason for these two, and everything we have is hard coded. You can also add whatever you want, but normally it depends on the project. Okay, so now let me. I don't need this. Can you learn about the WebDriver Manager? I think. Don't need to save. And no. Okay, this is the core. And let's start with we have page object desktop. We have all the elements inside this class. Right? I already talked about it the other session. and we created a step definition for the desktop. So if you want to do coding, I would suggest just put them aside, and then you will have a better time on doing it. Okay, we went through this the other day, and I'm going to show you something important. So it is easy. You can only put, so okay, let's go through it here. I can show you some like information that if you have something at work, you guys know how to get the information. Okay, it says user should see a message success. You added HP, whatever. To be honest, I can delete everything. I can delete this. I can delete everything, and then I can only put this this screenshot. Okay, when you see this, okay, take a screenshot. Let's see if the message is correct or not. But what I did, I tried to. So you see the message. What is this message for? The click on add to cart button and user said quickly. Okay. Okay, user click on the desktop tab. So we could, let me just go through this once more. Okay, I have a page object class. This is a page object class, and I have my feature file here, and I have. So this is my feature file. This is my page object class. This is my step definition. That's all. Okay, this is my feature file, a step definition. This is my page object class. I define the steps here. They're all fine. Now for every, so scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3, for 1, 2, 3. So for every of these, method will be created, and we created method. Now in a step definition class, we have imagine 10 methods. Okay, but I need to have elements. So we never put the elements inside the step definition. We keep the elements inside another class, page object class. So by creating the object of that class, page object or whatever, we can access to the elements. These are the elements. But how can I access the elements? So I save elements. I can only save elements and not create method. Only for, I have to create one method for every element that I put here, because whenever I want to access those elements through the step definition class, I can only access the elements by calling, and then we usually create a method and save the elements inside that method. Okay, or do the action inside that method, whatever we need. So then through that method, we call the method through the object, and then we can access to the elements and do whatever we need to do. So the need of this method, because we want to use the elements. If the elements are not saved inside this method through the variable, is we cannot access the elements here. Okay, even if we create the object of the class, how can we access the elements? So we will need to call this method. Okay, now these are the reason. So that's why we come here and we created the object. Okay, now every time we call the object, it's gonna work. So, and then we are gonna use the same method here. Okay, let's just do it quick. The first thing we wanted to do is the user clicks on the desktop tab. So I put the object that I created here. See, I created the object for the take a desktop page, take desktop page object. I created the object of this class to get to have access to all these information here. These are elements. This is an element. I saved this element, and then I created a method and did action here. Okay, so now by calling this method, I can do my job. So I come here. So I call the method. So user clicks on desktop. So I call the method that I created, dot click on desktop. This is the method I created here. take desktop page object, and then this is the method. Click on desktop. Then I call the method. Once I call the method, what's happened? This element will be it's going to be clicked, because here inside the method I said if the desktop tab is displayed and desktop tab is enabled, good, click on it. Okay, I will do this action only by calling this method. Only by calling this method. So I call the method here. How can I call that? I call it through the object of this class. I created the object of this class. See, this class is tick or whatever. I create the object. And then logger. So I just provide extra information with logger. User clicks on the desktop. If this crashes, then this logger will give this message. Okay, I can find, okay, user log information or whatever. Then it's gonna help me. And then driver wait 2000. Here, if I go to wait, this is extra utility class that this method inside that, and then I'm using that method. I can go over that next time. Okay, I did it. Let's go to the next one very fast. No time. So user click on the show all desktop. Again, object, click on show all. I have a method here. Okay, that I got the element. Let me also, I can show you that you guys understand. Here. So here, if I copy the element here, I got the element, and if it matches, because I copied this, it matches 1, it matches this. See, it matches this, and then I got the element here, and then I saved the element inside. I saved it here. I use this. It said if star is displayed, click on it. If this is displayed, click on it. Okay, so I want to click on this, but here I don't click. I don't use click action here. I only call this method, because I did this method is will be do the job. Okay, and then this is the method. Logger, user clicks on desktop. I can give it time 1000 milliseconds. Again, user should see all items are present in the desktop page. It is a bit challenging. I did it and last time, but let me just teach you something very, very important. We can ignore this by just doing this. Okay, by just doing this, user should see the item. It's going to take a screenshot, which is very, very, very unprofessional if you want to do it. But let's see what I did. User should see all the items are in present this time. Okay, if I go here, so I'm not telling you just to learn this, learn it forever if you do the same thing at work. So show all this stuff. Okay, here, these are all the items present, but how should I know? How should I tell my code that these are all presents there? Here, we learn XPath. So you need to find an XPath that matches all of these. I told you guys the other day. Okay, so now I will find the XPath and see what I can get. This thing, the XPath. I can click on one of these. See, I click on this. When I click on this, it only chooses this. Okay, I go up, I go down. Next one, next one, next one, next one. Okay, I don't need these. I go up, up, up. Again, one more. Okay, and here, this is the XPath for this. It has all of them. But let's see what is the XPath. I copy the XPath, get the XPath, and copy the XPath here. So it only, so what the funny thing is, it only has one, matches only one. It means this XPath doesn't have all of these inside it. It only matches one. See, but let me just show you something that it may be helpful for you guys. This is the XPath. It says show all. I got the XPath also here, and here, let me show you. I got the XPath here. This is the stuff. Let's see what's happening here. Let me find the expert. I can copy my expert. Okay. So this is dynamic. You got to get it every time. So I'm gonna get the expert. You guys see. I can like it. Okay. This is this. This. Okay. This. This is what I need. Okay. And then the 1, 2, 3. Okay. I copy the expert here. And then I change the name to 1. Can I say? My spec should match, but sometimes it doesn't work. Maybe it's dynamic. Just refresh it. Okay, this is the expert I need. Copy that. Okay, it gives me all the information. Okay, now it works. This is crazy. I did the same thing before, it didn't. Now it gives me all of them. But if you see, if I come here, this is the expert. 1, 2, 3. I need all these. How many pictures are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 3, 3, 12. I need all the information because here it says user users see all the items are present. So I need all the items, okay? But this is expert, remember. I'm here. I need to get down to these, okay? Because they're all connected to one another. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here, this is start with div, okay? It means after this, I need to put / and div, that my expert matches everything. It should match everything. Div. Now, my expert matches 12 things. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is I only have one expert, but this is expert matches everything. It's the same expert that I got, but sometimes this website doesn't work well. See, if you see, if I come here and if I copy the expert, it's the same expert that I have here. See, 4 and then div. It's the same expert, but it just was acting up to the word. Now, what I'm doing here, let me teach you something, guys. Okay, whenever my expert, your expert only matches one element, okay, you save it in web element. Okay, so let me do it practically. Okay, imagine it's only one element. I would say driver dot find by dot expert, and then I copy the expert here. This is the expert. This is done. But if I want to save and do an action on this, okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say, okay, WebDriver, what is the name? I can say items. Not WebDriver, WebDriver. Okay. Whenever your expert only matches one, we always save it in one web element, remember, okay? And there is no S here. There is no S, 5 element. But whenever your XPath matches more than one element, here our XPath matches 12 or 3 or 5 or whatever, the only option we have, it's to save it in list. Okay, let me. Okay, we have one is so one string, one element. If you have more element and want to save it in one string, so a string. Otherwise, if there are more, set web element, one web element, more, two or more, list, one string, more set. For a string, set. For a web element, list. If more than one, list. More than one string, set. Okay, so now I said, even if I delete this, see, if I delete list and if I delete this, it's not going to work. You know why? Because this says not one element. This says find elements. If I delete this, it's going to work. You know why? And it's going to only return one of these elements. Only one of these elements will be returned because we are using 5 element. Okay, 5 element. Even this XPath matches 12 elements, okay, but it is going to only return one element because this is single. And once it's single, it's okay, you can save it in web element, okay, but it's only return one element. If you want to return more, and that even if this XPath doesn't match more than one element, even if you put s, it's not gonna give you more element because it only matches one element. So, but if it matches more than one element, you want to get all those elements, you have to use XPath 5 elements, driver 5 dot find elements. And once you put driver dot 5 elements, there is no way that you can use web element. You have to save it, okay, in the list of web elements. List of web element. Now it's okay. This is a list of web element now because it's find by elements and it matches more than web element. So that's why I just wanted to show. But once it only matches one element, you can save it in web element, driver find. And so now it matches 12 web elements. If I want to use this variable, it's gonna only return one element. Which one? From the first element will be returned 1, 2, 2. Whatever element comes from the top left will be returned. If I use this XPath, so let me just show you something funny. I'm gonna copy this, come here, go to one project, PHP3. Let me show you something that you guys understand this. Driver dot find element, only by 5 element, okay, not elements. Y dot XPath. What is the XPath here? How many elements does this XPath match? 12 elements. Okay. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say, okay, this is the XPath. Now it's fine. I want to save it in a variable. What is that? Web element. It's because I want to save it in only one web element. Okay. When element, what is the name? SS, whatever. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, so this XPath matches 12 elements, okay? I want to print it, see, but I'm using 5 element, not elements. Let's see which one it's gonna be returned. So if I want to print the number of that, so I only put this here, dot size. By dot size, I can print if an XPath matches more than one element, if you want to print the number of those elements, here, how many elements do you have? 12. This XPath matches 12 elements, but I'm using find element. Do you think it's going to return all the elements or one element? Let me see. Okay, and let's see if I need to delete these codes or not. I hope it works. It should work because we're not doing anything. Let me delete these codes if I need them. Okay, so I just want to show you something that is very good. That you guys should learn this. Okay, this is desktop. Yeah, that's why we have to comment this code. Okay, now where is it? We are in the desktop. Show desktop. Okay, you gotta learn it, so that's why I think I need to show you guys. That's not a problem. Okay, what is this? Yeah, okay. Just learn how to. I want to find the element for this. So here I can only go to my object. So this is my desktop. See, and then link test desktop. I copy this. Come here. First I need to here driver dot find element by dot link text. So inside the link text, I need to provide the desktop. This is the first one. So I need to say dot click. And after that, what I need to do, I need to come here and click on this. Sometimes it doesn't show up. Okay, here, I don't need to look for it. Here I have it. So show desktop, see, copy this. It may take time, but it's important you guys learn it. And then again, driver that find element right the text. Okay, and after that dot click. So now it will come up this, if you're going to click this, after that click this. Once it click this, so we can use this as well. Okay, and also I want to use the wait 5 seconds. Let's see if it works, and then it should work, but my system is, I don't know, running slow. Clicked on it. Okay, so now it gives us the number 242, and then the number we have here is 12. Okay, it should not give this many numbers, but let's see. Okay, now I want to see what is the, if you have many elements, which one will be printed. Okay, here I would say sysout. Okay, I want to print, yeah, this is the size I printed. Okay, I want to get which one is gonna give a dot. You have a bad name. So now I want to get the name. Which one is going to give us? Get text. Okay, so this XPath matches a lot of things. Okay, again, this XPath matches 12 things. I want to use find by element, not elements. Okay, and get the text. And I want to get one element. Do you think it's going to give us this one, or this one? Let's see which one it's going to. It should give us this because it starts from the top left, and then you guys learn this important. Okay, so Apple Cinema 3, okay? This is Apple Cinema 3. This is Apple Cinema 3. I told you, whenever we have many, so this is something that I think important you guys learn. This, and let me just show you. So we have one, one, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, whatever. You have many elements, okay? And you are using find elements, okay? You are using find elements. So these are 1, 2, 3, whatever. It's going to return all of them for you. How do you, if you want to get the number, if you want to get number of them, use size. If you want to get the name of them, I don't know what I'm writing, but I hope you guys understand. If you want to get name of them, you use get text. Okay, but this is find element, and our expat, this expat matches more than one. Okay, it matches more than one, and when you use find element, it's going to return all of them. But when you use only find element, no, it only is going to return you the first one from the top left, only this one. So that's why here we got the same thing. Here, so we got the first one, cinema, whatever. This is the Apple Cinema 30, the, I don't know, 10 or 110. This is the price. So we got it because I use 511. Okay, now let me show you the same thing, and I'm gonna copy everything just to show you, paste, and instead of this five elements, I say plural, and here single. Okay, this is a 5 element only. So size gives you the numbers, and this gives you the get gives you the name. Here, I want to get all the name because my expat matches more than one. Okay, so what should I do? First of all, elements. Once you put elements, it's going to give you error because it says it should be in the plural form. What is the plural form of element? The plural form of element is list. I keep it inside the list, and then I put the element in parentheses. This is the list. Then you got to add list from the Java util. Okay, now what I need to do here, let me see. Okay, now it's the element. So once it's element, the only thing you got to do is for I can also do something. Okay, copy the no copy this. My PC is down. Okay, I get the size. Okay, let's see how many are there here. Okay, another way I can do this. I can, okay, now for this, what we want to do is we can get the information through a loop. Okay, so I can say, so for the loop, copy the web element here. And after that, this is this, and put this here. And I save this in a variable AA. And then I this. Okay, so with this is for each loop. If you want to print a web element, you must put web element here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say, okay, put all the elements of this file into A. Whatever you put before this column, this is the variable you put. whatever you put after this, it should come from the web element here. Okay, you put this here, and then you put a column. You say, okay, whatever is inside this, save it inside this, and then you're gonna print this AA. Okay, and then I would say names. This is a sum. Which one? Okay, this is AA. Now, this whenever you have you want to print more than one elements, you have to use a for loop or whatever, or usually we use for each loop. So I want to print all the elements from this. Let's see it works or not. Okay, the name and yeah. So what the mistake I made here? So get AA dot get text. Remember this, okay? If I don't use get text, it's gonna only print the path for that. Okay, this is the path in Chrome driver. And another thing that I can do is I create the same thing. Okay, paste it here, and instead of get text, I can dot get size. Okay, so it's gonna give me how many are they? It's gonna give me what are they. Okay, what they are. Again, okay. See, I have all of them. This is from the cinema, name Apple Cinema, I don't know, Canon, whatever. And then name here, the number of them or the elements is 242, 493. These are the elements I have. Okay. Now, so I printed all my 12 elements here. These are all my 12 elements. Okay, because my XPath matches 12. See? Matches 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it matches only one, okay, if I get this, see, if I, another thing that you got to learn, how many are matched here? 12. If I delete this div at the end, see, it only matches one. Let's come here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna delete this div. If I delete this, it's gonna only match one. Even though I'm using 5 elements, then I'm saving it in a list or whatever, it only returns one because the XPath matches one. Let's do it again. It should only give us, I think, the cinema, but now it's find elements list, but only gives one. I think so. Again, one. Yeah. Cinema name and get text. Yeah, because we have here, we didn't delete this one. We got all of them. But always remember that this is going to be very, very useful how to print them. Okay, I hope it was useful for you guys. So that's why my plan is not just to go with the project. I think here learning these are important. So let me just go through this. Whenever you have more than one element, you have to put it in the list, and then the only way you can print it is by for loop, and normally we use for each loop. With for each loop, the first element, it should be a web. The first thing you put after here is a web element, remember. After that, So I create a variable, whatever variable I want. And then I put a column here. After that, I put the variable I have here, the object. I put my object. And then I say, okay, please save whatever I have here inside this object. And then here, instead of, you have two ways, get the text, the name of them, get the size. So you cannot say size, you have to use get size. Or here I would need to use size. Okay, so I think we went out of, not out of the topic. These are important that you guys should learn, but if it matches or not. Okay, any question, guys? I hope you're not bored. So, all of these come from this part. So that's why I plan to teach you guys why the list is, why the web element is. Was that helpful, guys?
Yes, Dr. Jim, thank you.
Okay, so now I'm gonna delete this find element, and so we have our list. We have okay, what I'm saying here, I said, okay, I have it says, okay, user should see all the elements. How do I know that element? All the elements are in this extract. Okay, and then I save this element inside the list because there's more than one element, and then this object, I use assertion. If these elements are present there, then you can use I can use something else, but I think this is the best option. You can also use display, but this is the best way. So now for this part is this, and also I can use weight if I want. This is optional, but normally, yeah, weight. This is this part that we went out of, not topic, but that was important. Okay, user click add to cart option on HP. So again, I use the object. I click I only, for accessing this element, click on add cart HP, click on add cart HP. I have the method here. This is the method. I call this method. When I call this method, not this. User click add to cart. This is not add to cart HP. Yes. And then what is the, in my page object class, I said add to cart HP. After I see this, and then where's HP? I think this is HP. User click add to cart option. HP LP. LP. What was the name? LP. I think it's this one. Anyway, I said if in my page object class, I said if this is enabled, click on it. Okay. Now it's enabled. It's gonna click on this. This HP. I think it was the same anyway. And after that, only click, user clicks on HP, add to button. Okay, at user click, and I just want to see if I didn't mix up. I user click add to cart option on HP, and user click and add to cart HP option. Add to cart HP option. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and after that, what we need to do here, it says user select quantity. Quantity is already one, guys. Okay, how we select quantity? So here, what I did, I said I create, this is the quantity, I got it. Here I created a method. I said first clear the quantity, okay, that clear, and after that you clear, click send one. Okay, first it will be cleared, and then one will be inserted. Okay, so here, whenever I call this method, two actions will be happened. One, that quantity will be cleared, and then a new quantity, which is one, will be inserted. So what so I don't need to do these things again. I already have the method. the only thing I need to do is just calling that method. And by calling that method, it's gonna do my job. What this method is gonna do, that method is gonna do these two actions. And then I do not need to, again, come here and do the actions. Okay, and user click to add cart button. So here, if you see there's nothing here, I can do to add cart button. Add to cart button, one, add to cart button. So now I click, okay? This is the same thing. What I wanna do that you guys learn, this is, I said if, these are extra guys, not, you don't have to put this, but if you put them, that would be better. Add to cart button, I would say, okay, if this is enabled, okay? So you will learn it better if you use such things. If you use this enabled, click on it. You have the right not to put it, but that's important if you do. I think if you put it better. And then select quantity and user add to cart button. User click on HP add to cart button. And okay. Now, so how can I access this? Click on HP add to cart button. So I just called it. Click on HP add to cart button. When I call this method, it sees if this is enabled, then you'll click on it. Okay, it means that now I click on this add to cart button. The next one, which is important, it says user should see a message success. You have added HP to whatever to your shopping cart. Okay, and what I did, so I want to. How should I know that I already? How should I know that I got this text? Okay, now I went here and I found the XPath of that. So you see, this XPath doesn't have anything to this class, to page object class. I found it here. Okay, this is important. You can also find it inside the other the page object class, but I didn't. So because this is something extra that I'm doing, I come here. This is the XPath I found for this text. Okay, see, inside this XPath there is a text success you added. I need this text. I need this text. I got it because here it says you have added HP or whatever to your cart. I need this. Now I came here. I said find element driver dot this, and I want and dot get text. I wanted text inside this XPath. What is the text inside this XPath? I already got it here. I know what is this. This is the text. Whenever you use get text, you must save it in a string form. Remember, string is always used for when you use get text. It should be a string. If I delete this, see if I delete this, and then I use get text, it gives me error because of this part. Okay, so the reason I save it here because I want to use that. I want to put a condition. If I want to put a condition, I need a variable. Okay, that's why I need to save this in a variable and then use the variable. Here I said if this text dot contains success you have added or whatever, I get the text from here. I come here and I click this. I'm looking for this. Then I come here and then I paste it. That's easy. If this contains this, assert true, my test case passes. If not, it's gonna fail. So I'm taking a screenshot for this. And another thing I forgot to do is the logger. What is the logger in this situation? I can also teach you what to do. Here, if you don't know what to write, you can go to feature file, desktop, and the user should see a message, I think. You can also just copy this. I'm lazy to type, so this is something that I usually do. And click on HP. This is not click, and then you come here and you just put this. So this is the log. Now for what we got here, we got the text here. So let me just show you. I got the text here in another class. That's why I want to show you guys these things so you guys don't get confused. If I here, this is the same thing, guys, okay? This is the same thing. I got the text. This is the text, okay? And now I want to, this is the laptop actually. This is the laptop, but it doesn't matter. Let me just show you. Let me write on this and run it. How to get the text and what does it contain. If you don't know what does this contain, if it's going to return this text or not, you can just try the text. Success you have added to your MacBook. This is for MacBook, okay? But this is the same thing. This is, I save it, like you see, this is the expat. Okay, I want to get the text of this expat. How can I do it through this variable? I put the variable here. I want to see what is this inside this expat. Okay, it says, okay, success you have added. I need this. So I did the same thing here in my code. I did the same code here. I got this, I got the text, and success you have added. What actually inside this success you have added, but I don't mind because I'm not using equals, I'm using contains. Success you have added, that's fine. Okay, let's go to the next one. User clicks add to cart option to Canon, and now this is done. And now we are going to the next one here. User clicks on add to cart option Canon. So what I want to do, I'm coming here. So I already got the Canon add to cart button. Let's see what is this. You guys learn. I got the expat, and if the expat doesn't work, you got to go back because it's not for, the expat is not for this page. Now it works because the expat is not for that page. It's important. Okay, now what I want to do, I have it so it works. If you want to validate your expat, sometimes do it. So I use my so do you see, guys? I'm not using any objects here because all I'm doing here, it doesn't belong to any of the page objects model because I put the elements I found here inside my step definition. So I didn't put it inside a step page object that I need to use the object to access that. So I put everything inside here. So here, if you see, there is no object of page object class because everything I created inside the step definitions. This is the thing that you gotta remember. Okay, so what I need to do, add to cart Canon button, dot add to cart Canon button. So this is add to cart Canon option, not bottom. See, I made a mistake here. If I didn't have this available, now I would have made a mistake. My code wouldn't run. This is another method. Okay, so that's why you have to put them. If you put them aside, that would make it add to cart Canon option, not button, because this is Canon option. Okay, once I did it, I don't want to waste a lot of time. Logger, and this is click. I don't want to do anything, and then here I'll come here. Okay, so add to cart option and whatever. I'll keep add to cart button. HP. This is Canon. I say Canon. Oh wait. So the one. No, I made a mistake. This is HP, and this is Canon. Okay, now it's done. No need to do anything. We can do, but there is no need. So user select color from drop down. Very important. Okay, this is now drop down that in Selenium. It's very important. Okay, normally, so Canon. Now in the drop down, I want to select red. If it's Selenium code, what do I need to do? I need to find the element for this. I click on this. Here, this is select. Whenever you see select, this is the drop down. And I think do you guys have issue with select in Selenium? If you do, I think you do. But let's see. Let me go to this class. Hey, again. Okay, so imagine there is no Selenium. There is no framework, whatever. I want to use this drop-down. What I need to do, I click on this, okay? First of all, I need to find element of this. So what is the element? I can say name equal or ID. It has ID. Yeah, it says ID. So I say, okay, what is this select? Select yeah. ID equal 1. Sometimes you don't know what you did, but this didn't do a good thing. Close. So select is a bit tricky, so I just want to show you the difference because I want to go to the WebDriver class, so you guys should learn. Now I want to find the ID of this first of all. Okay, I want to create an XPath by ID. Name, no, yes, select. Okay, here select, then select ID. I got the XPath of this. Okay, I say Control A C. I come here. I say select. Options. Select. This is, I want to create a select class, okay? Because this is drop down. Import from. Now it gives me error. What's the error? Inside this, let's say driver dot find element by dot XPath, and then okay, here. Okay, now I put this inside I want to use. So when you create a select class, you have two options. One is that when you put your, this is the easiest way, whatever element you find, you put it in the select element. Now, when I use select class, I have three options, guys, okay? I can choose my element three different ways. One, by the value, by the index, and by the visible text. But if I don't create the option, it's not going to give me those things. Now I want to first click on this, okay? So and here I found the element, okay? I found it, and then here I want to click on it first. Now it gives me the option. So option one, option dot select. So it gives me three options. Select by value, select by visible text, select by index. If you see, we have only three options. Select by index. If I say index, okay, it starts from 0. Red is the 0 one. Red is the 0 one. I only put 0 here. One way I want to access that, okay? This is the first way. Again, if I want to use a different way, option dot select by value. What is the value? If I come here, then the value is a bit tricky. Then you gotta see. This is value. See, every select has value. Value equals 15 or red. This is 15. This is the value. Okay, for red is 15. For blue is 16. then I put 15 here. Okay, then everything is a string. Another thing, another option I have for select, dot select by visible text. So visible text, it depends to you. What do you want to go with? I want to go with red. This is my requirement. So whatever text is visible here is red. This is select class. Okay. Now imagine if I have another drop down, I need to go and create another select class and do the actions. If I have another drop down, I need to go create another select class and do the action. So it's too much job. It's too much work. That's why that's why in the framework we put everything inside all the Selenium elements and Selenium actions inside a class called WebDriver utilities. Inside this class, for every actions in Selenium, there's a method. For every action, there's a method. So here, for select by visible text, there's a method for that. Select by value, there's a method for that. Select by index, there's a method for that. So by calling them this method, it is going to do the action. So I do not need to create to do a lot of coding on one thing. Okay, this is the importance of that. Now, this I gave you this information because now I want to do go and do the select here. Now, what is my regulation? It says select color from drop down red. The color should be red. Okay, as we just learned, I had three options. I have three options. I can use it index. So what is the index here? It is start from 0. It is the 0 index. I have another option. I can use by value. I found the value here. The value for red is 15. I can use by this, and I can use by visible text. So here, what I'm gonna do, I can come here and I can go to my code. So what I need to do is let's see from dropdown. Okay, in my page object class, I did the same thing. I created a select. This is my dropdown. First of all, you have to click on this element. First of all, you have to click because see, if I don't click on this, I cannot choose any of this. Okay, even in my code, if I come to this file, in my code, before doing anything, I need to copy this. I have different options. Let me see if this works. Option 1 dot, yeah, it doesn't work. Remember, option is only for select. I wanted to give it a try, but it didn't. So what I'm gonna do, I copy it. I copy my XPath. No, everything here. Then here. I put it here. Driver.find element dot click. First of all, what I need to do, I want to click on this. This is the first important thing. After that, I choose whatever I want, because if I don't click on this, it's not going to work. So clicking doesn't have anything with select class or select. So that's why I need to find the element, okay, and click on it. After click on the element, I create an object of select and I give the path for it, the element, and then I can do the actions on that element. Okay, that's why here, after we create, then we click on this. It's the same thing that I just showed you, but here WebDriver utility select by visible text. Never get confused by this, guys. Okay, never get confused. So that's why now here we don't need, if I don't use this method, what I need to do is I need to come here and create everything from scratch. See, I need to come here and create everything from scratch and go and put it here. Let's see what I did. Yes, yeah. So I need to put a lot of code here. See, I need to put a lot of code here only to click on something. And every time it happens, I need to create this code again, again, again. Too much work. For this, we only create a method inside the utility class and then call that method. So the method is inside the web utility, as I showed you. So we have all the methods here accessible. So what method we call, it depends to us. How do you want to select it? I want to select it by visible text. Okay, I call select by visible text. If I want to select it through, for example, index, I can't index, or if I want to use by value, because everything is ready here. Select by visible text, select by value, select by index. So when you create a method, so two things, parameter, web element is string text, because select, you have to put an element here as I created here, but here I put the same element. If you see, this is the element I put it. Okay, this is the element you put. And after that, you have to select dot. This is the option you created. Yes, here is like this. This is our option. Select option dot, or select dot, select by visible text. When I call this method, I need to put something inside it. It has a parameter, a string parameter text. It should have something, because when you call it, you have to put something here. If it's by index, index. If it's by value, value. If it's by text, text. Okay, then you have to put something here. That's why when I say, and where is this, all these methods are all inside the web utility class, and it extends base. Since we extend base here, we have access to WebDriver utilities. All the method actions are here, so we don't need to start creating. We just call the method from that action. And then I lost a minute. It's here. Okay. Now, so now I want to select by visible text. Good. I need to put a text here. That's why I call the method. So where is red? Where is this? I put the address. I put my, where did I save the element? I saved the element inside this variable. So I copy the variable, and from this element, what do you want to get? I want to get this, because I want to get the visible text of text. This is the text. Okay, so we saved a lot of coding only by calling one method. So then the method is inside the page object. Only inside the step definition, what we need to do is to see read from drop down. I say because I need to use the object of that class dot. What is the name of the method? Not this. This is the method. Yeah. So we did the action inside the method, and then I select the read dot select. Select read from drop down. Select read from drop down. That's all. That's the easiest way I think I could have explained. And then you can come here. So you put this in the logger. I'm lazy because I don't want to type a lot. Sometimes it takes more time to type even, but this is me. And this is it. Okay. And after select, for clicking, you don't need to use a screenshot. For this, always use a screenshot. And then you can also, and we have only 5 more coding. I think that's enough for tonight. So my plan, so what we did, guys, okay, we only went through I think 5 methods, but my plan is not to just do it and you guys do your assignment. It's very important to learn, because now we have to use select class. What is a select class? How to, because if whenever you face the same thing at work, then no one can help you. You got to be creative. And these are all the options that you can use. How to print the XPath that has a lot of things that we went through. If you get the text, how to print it, if you have to compare things, and all these things. And now I think it's enough by now, and we'll do another session on this. But once we do everything on this, these are easier, not easy, but I mean, once we do all things on one of these, but for the next one, we have a much easier time. We can move very faster. But other than that, if you guys want me to move fast and ignore these things, I can do it. For me, it doesn't matter. And once we learn, but if you guys can unmute yourself, that's fine. I would recommend you guys to type and do the same thing. And if anyone has issue, you can just let me know. We can just get on the Zoom and help you. If you get stuck, doesn't matter for me. But the plan is just to learn, guys. Okay, why did I use list here? Now you know. Okay, whenever we see list, that's the purpose. And the logger, the definition of these classes, the purpose of these property file. Now you know it. And I think we went through a lot of things, and these would help you a lot. I think most of, I don't know, maybe we guys studied with tech, but these things, but I don't remember. Maybe I forgot. Okay. Any questions, guys? Any idea? Any depends too. Okay. So do you have a better understanding of the framework now, or it's the same? I hope you do now.
It's very useful, actually. I mean, personally, I learned a lot.
Welcome. So yeah, this is the purpose, because to be honest, if I finish everything in one session and then you guys just send whatever you want to send to, I don't know, this is not going to help you. So there's a combination. So you're learning what is this, what should we use this, and what is the purpose for this. Because if you go to work and you see a framework, then you would get lost. Oh, what should I do? Because you just consider the framework as a, I don't know, as a homework. Never do it. And I developed, I think, 10 frameworks within the past 2 months. 10, and they're very, very complex frameworks. So I recommend you guys do coding and print the elements, watch the video. Am I recording? Let's see.